What if I told you the most evil person isn't the one everyone fears, but the one everyone trusts? The people closest to you, your family, your friends, your leaders. This is the paradox of the poison hypocrite. Hypocrisy poisons slowly. In its distinct silence, it hides behind virtue with the intention to break relationships, institutions, and trust. If someone claims to serve a cause while their actions contradict them, are they still serving that cause? Take Danzo, for instance, an elder of the village, someone with real authority, someone in practicality could have actually been Hokage, someone whose position means he must serve the well-being of the people of the leaf. He himself acknowledges his responsibility, but he also has this darkness where he associates his actions being cruel, manipulative, malicious, and he was often suspected, but rarely ever proven guilty. All his actions undermine a true reflection of love, or rather duty. Duty to the village. But he believed in his actions, he believed he was acting out of duty, out of virtue. Some will argue that he never truly cared about the village, and in many ways his actions support that claim. But I don't think we can say either position is true with absolute certainty, unless Kishimoto explicitly stated it. And even then you run into a completely different debate. The author's intent versus what the story itself is actually saying. So for the sake of argument, let's assume he genuinely did. Does his sincerity excuse the damage done? Does Danzo believing his own lie make him less of a hypocrite or less evil? I believe sincerity does not excuse or erase physical or emotional damage. With that being said, I don't believe outcomes are what ultimately determine right or wrong. You know, the consequentialist argument. Basically, there's nothing wrong when your actions bring no harm, because you judge an action purely by its outcome. An action that causes no damage cannot be classed morally evil. The act might be stupid, risky, and irresponsible, but it's not morally evil. The most common example of this reasoning being, a person drives home drunk, but makes it back safely without hitting anyone or anything. A consequentialist would say no actual harm was done. There are obvious flaws to this, but I'm more interested in how they would see Danzo. Danzo being less of a hypocrite because of his sincerity would be irrelevant to them. This framework does not care about the internal state of a person, whether they consciously lied or believed in their own lie. What matters is the outcome, and in Danzo's case, his evil, his actions bring about harm. Deontology, on the other hand, would argue outcome is irrelevant. Morality is about duty, intent, and following the rules. The action is still wrong. The fact that you essentially got lucky and no one got hurt doesn't mean anything, really. Danzo's self-belief lie is a violation of duty, and harm is the byproduct. Does that make the person less of a hypocrite? Yes. Yes, it does. Hypocrisy requires a conscious doing, saying one thing while knowing you mean another. If a person truly deeply believes in their own lie, they are technically no longer a hypocrite. They are unified in their delusion. But someone like Nietzsche pushes back on that. He once wrote that genuine hypocrisy is actually rare, that it belongs to ages of strong faith, when someone could be forced to display a different belief while never abandoning their own. Real hypocrisy in his view isn't supposed to be hollow. It's supposed to be a fully intact private conviction, hidden beneath a fully conscious performance of another. And that's exactly what Danzo is, because he is in fact a hypocrite. I tried making the case for his unknowing actions, but his hypocrisy is very evident. During the Uchiha massacre cover-up, Danzo knows he's personally engineered the whole thing, and sets up Itachi. He knows the truth, but he's constructing a false narrative. I can get into virtue ethics, but even here he is a hypocrite, because virtue ethics doesn't care about the outcome. It looks into the type of person your actions ultimately make you, the wholeness of a person basically. And even here Danzo fails. A virtuous person doesn't need to lie to protect their reputation, nor do they need to lie to themselves to believe that they're doing good while committing evil. A person like that has no real virtue. They have no honesty, no awareness, no sympathy. I mean, Danzo was behind the abduction of several Konoha citizens, and when he could no longer tolerate Hiruzen's passive methods, he sought to assassinate him. That's not the profile of someone whose character is good. That's someone who knows on some level that they're wrong. Take the third Hokage for instance. He steps down from being Hokage when his peace fails, and even shows mercy to Danzo. Danzo could have lived the rest of his life by truly serving the village after the third Hokage confronted him over his failed assassination attempt, but he doesn't change, so his sincerity doesn't excuse his actions. Every evil hypocrite has this paradoxical consciousness where sincerity and evil orbits the same space. This isn't just a Danzo problem though. Every tyrant of sorts, whoever justified atrocities in the name of the greater good, believed it. At least partially. That's what makes true believers very dangerous. So maybe the real question isn't whether Danzo believed his own lie. Maybe it's this. Is a monster who knows is a monster less dangerous than one who is certain he's a hero?